G'day, guys. Welcome to another episode of Keith's Pod. I have myself a very, very, very special guest. I've known him for a few years. I used to work with him at RC Designer Garden, and his name is Anthony Jess. How are you, AJ?
Katie, how are you?
I'm very, very well, thanks, mate. Look, it hasn't been easy trying to connect up to this Zoom meeting. It's finally been arranged. We had problems both ends. I nearly
We got
bailed,
there.
but no, mate, we've got this pod episode up and running. So, firstly, mate, we'll just speak about this EJ Whitton Legends game. We both just watched it, and did you enjoy the game?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, it's obviously the old blokes having a crack, and then there's a couple of guys that go out there and sort of trying to hurt other players. Most players are pretty take it pretty easy and try not to get injured. But there's the Mitch Robinson trying to hurt everyone, and same with Daniel.
Gorge.
What's his last? Yeah.
Dan
So
does footy.
yeah,
Yeah, what
correct.
do you think
Yeah.
of his
So
hairstyle?
what's it? Sorry.
What do you think of Dan's Gorringe's
Yeah,
hairstyle?
taken over from Roy Lobb.
Mate, he's
Just
taken over from Dennis
promoting
Rodman. You
himself
remember
even
Dennis
more.
Rodman played basketball with Michael Jordan
Yes, he
for the
did.
Bulls?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, I think he's taken off from him, mate. Anyway, Dan Gorringe's hairstyle out of 10, what would you rate it?
6.
I liked it, mate. I reckon I'll give it a 10. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
It was good promo for him anyway. Do you
Yeah.
reckon? Do you reckon
More
they
the merrier for
mentioned,
him.
like, when he was mucking around with the fake punch to the other ruckman? Do you reckon he told him he was going to do it before he did it?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't like Hughesy. That's why he did it.
Oh,
Yeah, he doesn't.
okay.
No, and that's why Robinson cleaned him up as well.
Sorry, I missed that. Was that in the first quarter?
Nah, second quarter.
Oh, did Robinson?
Hughesy went in the ruck, and Daniel went straight through him.
Oh, okay. Why doesn't he
And
like him?
he gave away a 100-meter penalty,
Yeah.
and then Hughesy kicked the goal, and then Robinson came over and went straight through Hughes.
Why don't they like Husey?
I don't know, just don't like him. But that's it. That's them thinking they're trying to be smart asses.
Okay. Poor Husey.
So then the Hughes didn't play the rest of the game because he was injured, and like
Yeah.
they were actually concerned about him with his spleen and shit.
Oh, Jesus. Poor guy, might be his last Legends game.
Yeah.
So what do you think of the beer bellies, mate? So first up, you give your 3-2-1 vote. So your one vote is like your third favorite beer belly. 2 votes is your second favorite, and your third was your favorite beer belly of the night. So we'll start with you, mate. Who's your one vote for the greatest
On
beer
the beer
belly out
bellies,
there?
one would be Chris Johnson.
Yeah, he was a bit of a
Yep.
Michelin man, wasn't he?
2 would have been we'll jump to 3. Stevie J was 3.
He was. He's my 3 as well.
Yep. And then we'll go back to 2. And I reckon I'm trying to pick of the opposition. That all looks pretty fit though, Crawford's side.
Yeah, I know. Don't
Most
surprise
of them,
me. I thought Fev looked pretty fit. I've
yeah, no,
seen
he
Fev
did, yeah.
fatter.
No, he's lost heaps, Fev.
He has lost heaps, yeah.
Because he's still playing now. He's coaching the AFLW Tigers.
Oh, okay. No, it's good, mate. Coaching
Yeah,
gig for him.
he's their goal kicking coach.
I saw him play a local game at one-off, and he got into a bit of a biff.
Yeah. Well, they all try and target him.
Yeah, poor guy. He was just there for a
Yeah.
one-off game, bit of fun.
Yeah, exactly right. No,
Yeah.
it's 2 would have been. Oh shit! I may as well stick with the Vicks. Would have been Campbell Brown.
Yeah, he was a bit beefy. Look, mine's going to be a little bit more different to you. I'm going to give one vote Gazza Jr. It's the first time I've seen him with a bit of flab.
Yep.
Between his waistline and belly button, he was carrying a bit of flubber. So
He only had 30 instead of 40 tonight.
yeah, he gets my one vote. 2 votes, I'm going to go Campbell Brown as well. He's a fair keg. And Stevie J, yeah, he's probably had one of the better beer bellies of EJ Win history.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest beer belly I saw was Kick It. I think he played for
Yes.
Fremantle Dogs. He was a mammoth, mate. And Byron
Yeah, yeah.
Pickett, he was a mammoth. Like he was fat as well. Those two guys playing years ago. Just memories of just how fat some of these guys get when they retire.
Yep.
Um,
Well, a lot of them try and keep in shape,
mm,
but then others just let themselves go. Well, obviously, Newtown Footy Club must be feeding Stevie J well after he's
mm,
getting the 3 votes.
yeah. Did you hear he got reported in a coaching game?
Yes, I did hear that.
What a nut
Yep.
job.
No, he apologised and then got thrown out.
Yeah. Fucking nut
Yeah.
job.
He had to
Yeah.
go to the umpires or something, yeah, because it cost him a game. I don't know. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember reading about it anyway.
All right, mate. So for the pod listeners, we've just spoken about the EJ Whitton pretty briefly there, and the All Stars did win as well. They bet the Vicks.
Yes.
Yeah, so guys, we're also going to speak about just the AFL season 2022 final series, just our predictions. Some trade whispers, we're going to speak about that as well. Snoop Dogg and his controversies. We're also going to speak about Mitch Brown, former West Coast player, defender. He's come out first former AFL player male to come out admit he's bisexual. So we're going to talk a bit about that later as well. All right, AJ. So what we'll do is, mate, Adelaide Crows playing Collingwood next
Yep.
Thursday night. Who do you think will win that?
Adelaide, comfortably.
You're in comfortably. I'm going to go
Yep.
Adelaide not comfortably. I think it'll be a similar margin. I think it'll be less than a goal. Adelaide and Collingwood played each other a few rounds ago, and they got the win. Adelaide by less than a goal, and it was a great game. Did you see that game?
I did parts of it, yes.
Yeah, that was a really good game to watch. But I think
Was
it's
that
going to be.
was that a Saturday night?
It was, yeah, a few
Yeah, no,
rounds
I was in
ago.
the air. I was flying to Sydney.
Mm. That was a
Yes,
really
I
good
was,
game. In terms of some of the matchups, mate, in that game, because there's going to be some big matchups that will actually determine who wins the game in terms of a couple of these matchups. Who do you think are some vital matchups? You know, it could be one in the midfield, one in each of the forward lines that you think will seriously dictate who wins this game.
yep. So we'll talk about the two outs at the moment anyway.
Yeah.
So you got Rankin obviously out,
Mm-hmm.
which is he's our fire starter.
Mm-hmm.
But then also down the other end, um you've got Jeremy Howe out,
Yeah.
who's a key defender,
Yeah.
who now they've lost the key defender.
Mm.
So then that's where I believe Fremantle have got the Fremantle Adelaide have got the upper
Upper hand. No
upper
Jeremy
hand
Howe.
because he's out,
Mm.
and how are they going to stop Walker, Kilthorpe,
Mm.
and when Dawson goes forward as well?
Mm. Yeah, well, I've got a real vital. I think Billy Frampton will go to Riley Thilthorpe. He did the job last time.
Yep,
Riley only kicked one goal, and I think they'll have Billy Frampton back on Riley. I actually had a look. Riley Thilthorpe got all Australian full forward.
I did say that. Yes,
Yeah, so congratulations to him. He's a young bloke. He's a colossus, 6'5", and he's got a lot of upside to his game. So, and
and he
another
did quote
matchup.
earlier too that it was this is his
Mm,
first full season
mm,
back from
I've
injury.
I've also got here Jordan Dawson versus Nick Dacos. Now, those two probably won't play on each other for the whole game, but patches they will. So that's a
Yep,
pretty big match up there that can potentially
huge.
determine who wins the
I would
game. That
I
is
would
huge
have
because
if I had a top five to pick of, if
mm,
anyone in the league,
mm,
Dawson's in my top five. I rate him highly.
yeah, he's third for Brownlow, third favourite. He could
Yeah, he'll
actually
win the
win it
Brownlow.
because
If you want to talk about Brownlow, back him now because he'll win it.
yeah, because Adelaide have only dropped 3 home and away games this year, and a lot of the games that they won, he was the best player.
Correct, because
So
he's also a mid, but he's been going forward and kicking goals.
yeah, so
So
he's a real good chance. What we'll do is, mate, we'll go on to the positives and the negatives of Collingwood. So just off the top of your head, some positives and negatives about the club. And what can you
yep.
think of off the top of your head?
Well, the biggest distraction for Collingwood at the moment, well, actually, there's two,
Mm,
is the injuries.
mm,
So we don't know whether McQuarrie will be right to go. We don't know whether obviously Hill's not going to be right to go.
mm,
There's question marks over Jagoe about his fitness.
mm,
I think my check as well is another one that they're not 100% sure about.
mm,
So you've probably got what 5 or 6 that already that could be well could play, injured, which most players play injured anyway. Most weeks they play with something, but going into a final, if you break down straight away, well, you've cost your team, sort of thing.
What's wrong with my check? What's he injured with?
I think it's a groin.
Okay. They'll probably jab him. They'll probably just jab his groin and get him out there, mate.
Yeah. So, but well, that could be their undoing too, taking unfit players in, and then so their ball movement's really slow, and you can see like Adelaide's back line are all no ones. Like you don't really know who they are, but they do the job.
Yeah, true.
So and their ball movement, Collingwood, is very slow throughout the ground and also going forward, which obviously that's what you want if you're the opposition side, because you don't want the ball going in quick, because then you've got your back line has time to get their player and and get it out of there, or it's going to stop their momentum.
Yeah,
and I think,
mate.
In most games, you'll see the momentum swings in any game, and but then as we know as well, it finals and grand finals is your bottom 5 players are who wins the games. Like if the bottom 5 of Adelaide are better than the bottom 5 of Collingwood side, that will win you the game. So, I just think I think Adelaide will make the grand final. That's my prediction. I don't think they'll win it, but I think they'll make it. And I think they'll cover. I think they'll win by 20 plus against Collingwood Thursday night next week.
Just some of the positives and negatives I have about Collingwood. Just some of the positives. They were really good first 18 rounds of the year, Collingwood. They only dropped 2 games in the first 18 rounds, and then they fell apart a bit after that between. But we'll talk about that a bit later. Look, Collingwood's backline has improved since last season. So last season they were a schmoz of their backline. Billy Frampton got beaten a lot. Darcy Wall wasn't half the player he was in the premiership year. But Collingwood's backline did improve compared to last year. Nick Dacos, we just spoke about him. Like he's a superstar playing Brownlow medal footy. So the fact he's having a good year again, didn't break down with a bad injury or anything like that, is also a positive for the club.
He's carrying injury and he struggled the last few weeks.
Yeah,
he hasn't been what he's been. So for a fact he's carrying something.
He's I had a look at the All Australian team. He's on the bench as well. I was kind of surprised about that. But look, it's a damn good
he's
side.
Struggling. Yeah. Side bottom struggling. They've lost their. It's like they've lost their form, but obviously carrying injuries too. His brother Josh Dacos is struggling. Where they were all firing through the year. It's like Pendlebury is, I guess, Pendlebury, so he does what he does. Houston was a bad trade in the end, I believe.
He killed it like the first few rounds, and then after that,
he did, yes. But then it's like Josh Dacos has taken his position, so then he doesn't know what to do, and he's lethal with his foot, but he doesn't. They need to get the ball into his hands more. But he's a driver. He's a driver from half back, where he hasn't been doing it the last few weeks. He gets it, and he might make 1 or 2 plays for the game. It's like, well, you need to be making at least 15, 20 plays for the game for you to win. But then that's the thing. Like last week, Melbourne had their opportunities and just couldn't finish it. So Collingwood should have lost that game, and they bring that against Adelaide. Adelaide would destroy
romp them. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. And one thing that will be brought up, and this is any game, but more so finals, because you go an extra, you go up 1 or 2 gears, and the intensity is obviously flat out from the start. But what I put on a whiteboard to start with is a massive P, and you'll ask what that is. And it's pressure. And I've always been on about this. It's pressure, pressure, pressure from the get-go. But you can't drop your bundle. It's a final. It's a do-or. It's a qualifying final. You can, if you lose, you still got another week.
Yeah.
But you put everything on the line. This is what you play for.
Yeah.
So I can just see Adelaide turning up Adelaide. I can see Collingwood turning up for the first half, maybe 3/4,
Mm-hmm.
and then just run out of gas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That last quarter where Adelaide should just take over.
Mm-hmm.
The crowd's obviously is going to come into it too, a home ground advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Adelaide normally play well at home,
They do.
so I don't know what
Mm.
the weather's supposed to be like. Haven't looked that far ahead,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm sure you'll talk to Jane Bunn and find that one out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Yeah.
oh yeah, I think I like what Adelaide are doing. I just think I think Collingwood are coming unstuck at the wrong time.
Mm-hmm. Just a negative about Collingwood. So they did peak too early. They played their best footy first half of the year.
Yep.
Now this is similar to Sydney Swans last year. They were really good for like the first 16 rounds. They probably lost like one game, and
Yep.
then after that, they actually lost quite a few games. They got belted in a few games. Like the second last home and away round, they got belted by 100 points. They still got to the grand final, Sydney, but they got belted by
Yes.
Brisbane in the granny. But yeah, look, sometimes teams they peak and play their best footy first half of the year, and then sometimes second half of the year they fall away a bit. But sometimes they can fight their way. If they did make it in the eight, sometimes they can fight their way and get to a granny. I do know that history shows the team that's most informed those last 8 or 9 rounds of the year do go pretty far. If they don't win the premiership, they
Yes.
make it to the granny.
Yep.
Two teams off the top of my head, Geelong are doing. They did very well last 9 rounds of the year. They only dropped like 2 games, and Fremantle is another team. They the last 9 home and away rounds of the year, they only dropped a couple of games as well. So we'll speak about that when we get to those clubs. Just negative I have about Collingwood also. So the last 7 home and away games of the year, they've only won 2 of them. And so it's pretty worrying for the Collingwood fans. Yes, they did get that win recently against Melbourne, but Melbourne, they haven't been great this year. Bobby Hill, now he is a superstar. Unfortunately, he is like I just mentioned, the last 7 rounds of the year, Collingwood have only won a couple of games. One reason is because they are missing a clutch forward who can snag some pretty
Yep.
vital goals. And Bobby Hill has that gene in him. He's proven it. He's a Norm Smith medalist. He's the type of guy he can bop up and kick like 3 clutch goals, taking the pressure off guys like Brody Mychek and Jamie Millett as well.
Yep.
And yeah, he is having some personal problems at the moment. I can't speak a whole heap about it, but what I've heard that apparently it's got to the point there's a restraining order between himself and his ex-missus. I'll just leave it at that. I
Yep.
don't know the ins and outs what's happened, but
Yeah, that is correct.
it's
Yes.
not good. And look, even if Collingwood, they keep winning games, if they do get in the granny, it's pretty hard to see Bobby Hill being a part of that. Apparently, he hasn't even been training, and he's been hard to contact at Collingwood. So, things are pretty glim there. And as you said before, Bo McCreary, last 9 home and away rounds, he's only played 3 games. He's a pretty huge loss. He tackles hard.
Yes, he's a
There was a
pressure player.
game. Yeah, there was a game, round 23. I think it was that Adelaide game. He played and he got 15 tackles. So that's
Yep.
how vital he is. And so he hasn't played much. So he's been another huge loss in the forward half as well. He also runs through the midfield and he can do well there as well.
You give him that extra drive as well, but
Mm,
needed
mm,
pressure player, but also extra drive
yeah,
and run.
yeah.
But yeah, and the other thing I think the other one is who's playing sore at the moment is Elliot.
He's had such a good year though. He's had the
Yeah,
best
oh,
year
he's
of his
had a great
career.
year. Don't get me wrong there, but yeah, I think he's playing pretty sore as well.
Mm,
So they've going in with a lot of question marks. Collingwood.
mm-hmm.
I still reckon if they were fully fit, I reckon they would still get rolled.
Okay.
But this makes it even more damaging for them. Depending on who, I haven't looked at who if they do lose who they play, but
Mm,
geez, you'd be confident if you are the elimination team that do win and thinking you
mm,
got Collingwood coming up.
mm.
Yeah, I
All
just
right.
think they did peak too early,
They
yes.
did.
Um, and yeah, it's all good and well you get your game going, but every club, like the way you look at it, the way you look at your first 10 rounds
Mm,
from 0 to 10, you work out okay if we can be 6-4 after 10, you've
mm,
set yourself up well. Your teams are always going to dip through the middle of the year.
Mm-hmm.
through June, July. They're always going to dip. They might have had
Mm-hmm.
15 wins for the year and one loss, but then they might lose 5 or 6, like Collingwood
Mm-hmm.
in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then you find your form again because you you top up with your loading through June, July,
Mm-hmm.
and then you deload at the end of July, which like you still train, but your body's been set for September. That's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So you got heavy legs in games where in some games that obviously take a toll, but that's been built into you for getting ready for September when you need that fitness and run.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where a lot of teams get undone. And also, if
Mm-hmm.
you're a young side, you either start well, like Essendon's a prime example, or Essendon when they're full strength, or uh, trying to think who started badly this year, then came good halfway through, then they went shit at the end. But teams do that. They start either really well and you think, oh, how good's this? Carlton actually probably a prime example.
Mm-hmm.
Start well, thinking how good's this? Get to the middle of the season, then they lose a few, can't find their form, lose 7 or 10 or whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
and then they come good at the end because there's no pressure on them because they can't make finals.
Mm-hmm.
They think, oh, how good's this? We everyone's playing for free, like free, as in like everything's all the stress is off them. They're just playing freely.
Mm-hmm.
And look at Melbourne, what they did when Goodwin wasn't there, they actually played better.
Yeah, they didn't get a win though
Even though
those last few
obviously the coach
rounds.
is gone,
Mm.
but Chapman just told him um, just play freely and look at the results.
Mm.
But also players are also that the other thing is talking about contracts. Like you said earlier, players are playing for contracts because they
Mm.
might not have signed and trying to get re-signed, or clubs are looking at them for
Mm.
next year onwards.
Mm.
So yeah, so players who might have not have had a great year might play good at the end because they know they're playing for their um for their security down the track.
Mm. Mm.
So it's very very interesting to see what teams do, and that's why you see upsets as well. Like that's like right near the end of the year, teams are wanting to finish off the season well, where they could stuff up
Mm.
finals teams' chances, if that makes sense.
Mm.
So which happened last week with the Gold Coast and Port Adelaide. That's a prime example.
Mm. All right,
Um,
AJ. What we'll do is, mate, we'll go to positives and negatives of Adelaide. So just off the top of your head, mate, the positives and the negatives. They're a pretty good team.
yep.
Yeah. So, anything you want to say off the top of your head, mate, that you really
Yeah,
like
no,
about them?
they are a good side. I've watched them live 2 or 3 times this year.
Mm-hmm.
But the opposition have been just too good for them when I've seen them, which obviously
Mm.
um, they just once if that forward line connects and goes well, they win games most times.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't see the last game against the Roos. I don't know whether they took it easy or not, but they only won just. So,
Mm.
but then they could have been like saving a few bodies as well for the finals.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, no, I like them, but yeah, obviously it's an advantage when you play at home too.
Mm-hmm.
So I think yeah, put the mortgage on this week on the Crows, and you'll be cheering. Yeah,
And then you get
you'll
another
be a
house.
happy man.
Yeah. All right, mate. So just in terms of positives and negatives, I've got for Adelaide now. They're the
Yep,
minor premiers, which is congratulations
yep,
to them. Especially they finished 15th last season, so they've gone from
yes,
15th to minor premiers, which is outstanding. Matthew Nix has done more than enough to save his job for the next few years. Because if they
I
didn't play
believe so.
finals
Yes.
this year, if they didn't look like playing finals this year, he would have been moved on halfway through the year. So
Yeah, correct.
yeah, so as you said before, their forward line is arguably the best. They've got players like Riley Philthorpe, Tex Walker, Isaac Rankin, who unfortunately won't be playing. They've got
Yep.
Darcy Fogarty as well. He's one player a coach would want to actually kick a footy
Yeah,
after
absolutely. Yeah.
throwing and winning it. He's
Yep.
got a beautiful set shot. You see him going for a set shot. You know he's kicked it before he's kicked it. So Darcy
Yep.
Fogarty's a fantastic player. Jordan Dawson, we spoke to him before. He's actually All Australian captain. No, he's not.
Yes.
Sorry,
No,
he's
he's
vice
all
captain.
Australian. He's all Australian, but
He's also, I think, he's vice captain. I think Jeremy Cameron got the captain. I'll have to double check
yeah,
that.
Jez got captain. I know that, but I don't know what.
I'll,
I just know Geordie was was obviously in the school like the
mm,
made the side tonight. And yeah, absolutely. I've rated him when he was at Sydney.
Yeah.
I've watched him all along. I knew that when he got captain Adelaide, he'd take them to another level.
Mm.
And he's done that. Obviously, they've recruited, got some players in. They've got some fit players as well now. Like
Mm.
obviously, um, their forward line functioning, and you can hear all the players saying and they're enjoying their time. Well, obviously,
Mm.
when your team's winning, it makes it even better.
Mm. Yeah, it does. And just a few more, just a couple of negatives I've found. There's not many about the club. They're a good club, but they don't play great football in the MCG against the better Melbourne-based sides. Like for example,
No, correct.
they lost to Collingwood round 10 during the year by a couple of goals.
Yep,
So the MCGs we actually win the grannies. So
correct. That's
that's
I reckon that's a
one.
down. That'll be their downfall
Yeah,
because
winning
they
big
can win the
games at the
first
G.
qualifying final. They
Mm,
win the prelim if they play at home.
mm,
Then they've got to come across.
to the
Um,
G and win a granny.
yeah, correct.
Yeah. And Isaac Rankin was initially a 5-game suspension that's gone down to 4-game suspension due to a homophobic slur. He's kicked over 30 goals this year. He's had over 450 disposals, so he actually is a pretty big loss in
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
team. He was
Absolutely,
one
he
of the
is.
better players.
Yep.
He's actually gone overseas, I heard. Have you heard
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah. He has. Yeah, he's in Rome or Italy or somewhere.
Yeah, he's just told the coach, mate, I need to get
Yep.
out.
Yep.
Yeah, he would have been stressed out about the whole situation.
Well,
Um,
he didn't leave home for 3 days.
yeah, I
So yeah,
imagine it would have been pretty bad on the social media. I think a lot of people, they're
yeah,
sensitive.
correct.
It
Yeah,
would because I know Jeremy Finlayson for Port Adelaide did a homophobic slur the other day, and he got his house rocked at. Yeah, people throwing rocks at his house, and
yep.
it got really bad for him. And I think his missus got abused at the front of her house, and yeah,
Yeah,
so
well, he got delisted yesterday.
yeah, he did. I think another club will pick him up.
Yep.
He's 29. He's a handy player. But we'll
Yes.
talk about that because when we talk about trade whispers and stuff, we're going to talk about that later, mate. But what
Yep.
we're going to talk about now is your Cats versus Brisbane at the G on Friday night,
Yep.
September 5th, mate. So who do you think will win this game?
Yep. I do believe. Look, it's going to come down to selection.
Mm-hmm.
If so, Geelong are going to have two players come back in.
Mm-hmm. Who are they?
So Mark O'Connor will come back in,
Yeah.
and Shannon Neal will come back in. They're straight. They're straights
Yeah.
in. So two have got to go out. So Mitch Niven will definitely get dropped.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the next one. Who's going to come out? Like I believe Connor O'Sullivan will come out. That's my thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because if they go the other way and take another defender out,
Mm-hmm.
um, then I think Brisbane will win comfortably. So if I believe if they take Jed Hughes out,
Mm-hmm.
he normally plays on Charlie Cameron.
Mm-hmm.
If they take him out, then you may as well Geelong may as well kiss their finals goodbye, and the coaches have just stuffed everything up because and Charlie will come out and kick 6 or 10 because they don't know how to play on him. He does.
Mm-hmm.
The other
It sounds
players
like they
don't.
won't drop him. It sounds like they won't drop Jed
Well,
Hughes in.
yeah, if they're smart, they'll keep him in
Mm-hmm.
because he's got experience and he's got
Mm-hmm.
finals experience. He's won a flag
Mm-hmm.
for him. So
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, they're not going to take anyone else out of the side.
Mm-hmm. So if
So
they leave
that's
Jed Hughes in, a Cat's going to win the game, you reckon?
yeah, 100% because even
Mm-hmm.
if even if Charlie kicks 1 or 2, he
Mm-hmm.
can cop that.
Mm-hmm.
But
You
if
think it'll
he
be a
do, if
close game?
no, I don't think so.
You reckon Jed Hughes plays, Cats will win by like 5 goals or something?
Yep, correct.
Okay, very
Because
interesting.
it's huge. Because you stop Charlie, you stop Brisbane.
Mm. Oh, Brisbane have still got some other firepower down the foreline, mate.
They do, but
They've
if
got a guy
people
by the
doesn't,
name of Logan Morris that goes all right.
yeah, no, don't not. He's not much. You get a good defender on him, and you may as well put him on the pine for the rest of the day. You may as well, yeah,
We, yeah,
you
okay.
may as well, yeah.
Well,
I don't think he's that good. This because he just gets away from. He hasn't played on any good defenders. When he's played on good defenders, he hasn't done much.
mm-hmm.
You play
Yeah.
him on the young kids, like you put Connor O'Sullivan on him, he might beat him comfortably, but you put a Jack Henry on him, you wouldn't even know he's out there.
Mm.
You would have thought he would have got a taxi at half time and gone back to the
Yeah.
hotel. Like that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just and like because obviously last year was a bit different for Brisbane. They had
Mm-hmm.
Joe Danaher,
Mm-hmm.
so they don't have Joe this year.
No, no.
Eric Hipwood is no certainty to play.
Yeah, he's not. He hasn't stepped up to
No,
expectation.
so
The
that's why
average,
they're relying on
yeah,
Logan. They're relying on Zach Bailey. They're relying on
Charlie Cameron.
Charlie. They're relying on Hugh McCluggage to kick goals out of the middle. Lockie Neal to kick goals out of the middle. So you don't know what Lockie's going to do. He comes back, he might rip his quad altogether,
Mm,
and the final season's over. Final series is over.
mm, mm,
So I do believe I've seen Brisbane Geelong live at the start of the year, and Geelong dominated that game until the last quarter, and they only had half a side in,
mm,
and Brisbane just won by I think it was 1 or 2 goals in the end.
mm,
And then down here, um, Geelong, I know for a fact Geelong players weren't really didn't really have their weren't thinking about the game as much as they should have
mm,
because the next day they're all on holidays
mm.
on their flights and destinations, going thinking about that more so than the game.
Is that because I had to buy the next round?
Yeah, correct, exactly right.
Okay.
So that's what that's why that's like
Yeah.
they were still switched on and thinking about the game,
Yeah.
but their minds were sort of on planes and destinations
Mm-hmm.
where
Yeah.
and it didn't mean much back then.
Mm,
Now it does. Now it means everything.
mm-hmm. I'm
So
on. I'm in the. I reckon the Castle win in a close one. Um.
and they want to beat them after last year. What happened?
Yeah, I know. I know. So I've got the Cats by about a goal or even less. I reckon it'll be really
Yep.
close. Um.
Well,
Some of the key
and
matchups.
obviously and with that as well, Brisbane's backline's very iffy.
Mm,
Like
well, they've
Geelong's
got
forward
Harris
lines,
Andrews got all Australians in up back.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but then you shut down Zorka, you shut down Harris. They've got no one.
Mm.
They're relying on Leicester. They're relying on
McCluggage and
or they're relying on back on Harris. They're relying on him and
oh, you're
Zorko.
talking with their back line. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Darcy Gardner, not much.
Mm,
Well, Geelong's forward line firing puts them to bed quickly.
mm,
Like you get Stengel, you get Close, you get Manor. I think
mm-hmm.
Manor will be the standout for the finals.
Yeah, yeah, he
Yeah.
could.
What's that?
Yeah, he could because he'll probably play on like the fifth or sixth best
Yeah.
defender.
Yep.
So you
Yep.
just
So
tell him up.
he's the one. He's the one that will be I reckon he can be the difference down forward. Obviously you got all the main guys, Neil and Jez and
Mm-hmm,
the guys that I spoke about, but Manor's the difference, I believe.
mm-hmm,
We've also got obviously Bailey Smith in this year as well.
mm-hmm,
So last year when we were winning that game and Max Holmes' hamstring, we had no one else to go to.
mm-hmm,
This year, it's quite different. And you got Myers as another one, and
mm-hmm,
he's also a runner. You got him, you got Holmes, Smith, and
mm-hmm,
Myers who run all day.
mm-hmm,
Then you got O'Connor who will tag Lockie Neal,
mm-hmm,
and then you got Mullen who's having a pretty good season too. So
mm-hmm,
he might even take a like um he might take a Rayner if Rayner goes forward.
mm-hmm,
Um, he might be bigger than him. Like Rayner will be bigger than Mullen, but
mm-hmm,
Mullen can take him on the run.
mm-hmm.
So the way, and then I don't think Oscar McInerney's playing. So they've been relying on, that's what they've been relying on. Sam Day from the Gold Coast Suns.
Mm.
So, and he's not much chop.
Yeah, he's not much. He's handy for a couple of
So
goals at best. Yeah.
yeah, exactly right. So then where are they going to get the goals from? Like they're going to be relying on the midfield
Mm,
for goals as well as obviously the forwards. But I think you got Stewart, Henry, Sullivan, um, Lawson Humphreys will probably even swap with Mullen and may even take Rayner.
mm,
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. But I think Geelong's back line will stand up, and
mm-hmm.
they have to. Like I believe whoever wins that game will win the grand final.
Yeah, well, that's a fair call.
Yeah, I think it'll be my reading. If Geelong do win that first final, it'll be Geelong Adelaide grand final, and Geelong will win it.
Mm-hmm.
But if Brisbane beat us, then I reckon Brisbane will win it.
Yep. Just a few of the key matchups, in my opinion, that could really determine who's going to win the game. I reckon Tom Stewart will go to Logan Morris. Logan Morris has kicked 47 goals this year and 17 behinds. So just a 20-year-old bloke.
Yep.
Look, something might happen. Yeah, Tom Stewart's expected to get the better of him, but Logan Morris might play the game of his life. And anyway, that's a real big matchup there. If Tom Stewart keeps him goalless or to one goal, it could be enough to
Yep.
win the game. Bailey Smith, Hugh McCluggage, those two are going to be head-to-head. Probably not for the whole game, but there's going to be stages when those two will probably have to play on each other, and those two will be fighting to win contested footy in the mid. So that's also an interesting lineup there. In
Yeah, it
terms
will
of
be. Yep.
in terms of positives and negatives, you've pretty much explained all that, mate. Just some of the things I've got here. Positives for Geelong. I've got here Bailey Smith, recruiter of the year, in my opinion. He's had
Yep.
such a good year, he could win Brownlow. Jezza Cameron kicking more than 80 goals. I don't think a Geelong has had a player kick more than 80. Tomahawk's never done it in a season. I think the last player to kick more than 80 in a season for Geelong, home and away season, might have been Gazza Senior, to be honest.
Yep.
So that's a great achievement. Jez is 32. You think the older a player gets, they decline a bit, but Jez is he's still a very, very, very good player, even the older he gets.
Yeah.
Look, Geelong they've been such a great club. They don't really have negatives. Just Bailey Smith's off-field demeanours during the early stages of the year that involved Andrew Dillon, Chris Scott, and Andrew Mackey going to his house to have a meeting with him to try to sort him out. So that's just the only thing I could think of off the top of my head. I think Bailey Smith will put a lid on his behaviour in some ways. I think he'll stop flicking the bird, and yeah, he realizes he's a role model. A lot of young people love him. I mean, I'll go on
Yep.
Facebook. These young people with white headbands and stuff like that, they love him. So
Yep.
yeah, I think
You've got yours next year now, don't you?
mate, I might have to jump ship from Carlton be a cutter because yeah, no one wants to play Carlton at the moment. People want to leave, but we'll get to that when we get to trade whispers.
Yep.
In terms of positives and negatives about Brisbane, you've had a fair bit to say on that, mate. Just what I've got. To me, they found their Joe Danaher replacement, Logan Morris. There was a lot of pressure on Eric Hipwood to step up and be that guy. He's 27 now, but Eric Hipwood, I looked into him. He's only kicked like 27 goals this year or something.
Yep.
You know,
He's a confidence player too. Eric the Eel.
Mm.
He yeah, from what I know is he if he kicks say 3 or 4 points to start with, his confidence is shot.
Mm.
But if he kicks the first, like kicks his off his foot the first time, and it goes through, then obviously his confidence is sky high.
I had a look at him. The first 10 rounds of the year, he was averaging 2 goals a game. So the first 10 rounds, he was going okay.
Yep.
But he's just fallen away to kicking
like
one goal every second game. And
if he doesn't play, who they've got Day as a backup. Well, Day was terrible the other night.
Yeah.
And again, like if Hawthorn, talking about that game, Hawthorn had their opportunities and couldn't finish them.
Yeah, true. Yeah, Hawthorn, look, we'll get to that because I'm going to talk about some of the negatives now. Brisbane tend to kick just way too many points in a game.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, it will cost them. That's the thing. It'll come to a game. Could be next week. It'll come to a game where that just costs them.
Because it was a big problem for them last year. They were lucky they sorted their shit out when it came to finals and they won the granny. But just talking about that Hawthorn game, as a team, they kicked 11 goals and 23 points. That's shit ass. So
as
they
were
lucky to beat Hawks.
Bad kicking is bad football.
It is. Yeah, we were talking about Hipwood before. He's in his prime years. He's 27. Sorry, I was wrong before. He's actually kicked 25 goals and 18 points in 22 games played. So he's averaging about a goal a game. It's not good enough, to be honest. He needs to be, he's the type of player, should be around the 40 goal a year mark.
Yeah, correct. Yes.
Do you think Jeremy Cameron will kick a ton this season?
I'd love to say yes, but I don't think it will happen now.
I don't think he will. He cooked his chances against Sydney. He didn't kick a goal, and against Richmond, he
He kicked 4-4 against Richmond.
He did, and a few rounds before that, they played North Melbourne, and he kicked 11, and he was looking like he could do it.
Yep.
Richmond are worse than North Melbourne, and he just couldn't capitalize opportunities. And I don't think he will either. He could kick
Well, what
he's
do you need?
on
17. So
he's sitting on 83. He could kick 90, but that's still a good
he
season.
could kick if they win the first final. He say he kicks 5 next week. 5 in the prelim, there's 10. They need 7 in the grand final. Look, it could happen, but they've got to get that far first. So that's the other thing.
Yeah. So that's that for those two teams. Now, mate, I've got here GWS Giants versus the Hawks.
Yep.
So they're playing at GWS, NG Stadium.
Yep.
It's a 3:15 p.m. game, Saturday, the 6th of September. So who do you think will win this match, mate?
I'm going to say the Giants. Just purely because it's going to be at home. Yes, they've got a good side, the Giants. They just don't know how to put it together. They've just been inconsistent. The last few weeks, they just haven't, you'd think they would have put St Kilda away early last week. And no, they couldn't. They struggled to put them away. And only just got the chocolates in the end. And St Kilda aren't even a final side. So the way I see that is, if you're a final, what you need to be doing, second weekend of August, even third weekend of August, you need to be hitting your straps. Yes, you're going to have the bye. Your momentum's going to stop. But you need your best 22 out there, and you need to fire now. Don't worry about next week. That's too late. You need to fire. You need to be already all cylinders going.
I think the Giants will win as well, mate. I've got them. I think it'll be probably a 3-goal win, a comfortable win. The Hawks are no easy beats. I think it'll be close for 3 quarters, and I think the Giants will kick on up there. In terms of
I think the Hawks rely on their forwards are fine, but there are 2 reliance on it. But they've got to get forward too. That's the thing. Last week they had many of opportunities, never took it. The Giants, I don't know whether they're going to have all their backmen back, but it's just I don't know. They just opportunities were there last week. They just never took them, and they should have beaten Brisbane, I think, comfortably.
I've got here in terms of some matchups that are going to really determine which team wins or not. Toby Green, he's a guy that plays 50-50 forward and mid. He'll be spending time on John Newcomb. Now, that'll be John Newcomb. He's hard as nails. Good player. So when they play in the mid, that's going to be a very interesting matchup because either one of those two will have to play each other. Whoever's winning the footy out of those two is really going to influence the game. I've got here, I think Sam Taylor is going to play on Jack Gunston. I think that's a huge matchup.
I think that's correct, yes.
Yeah, so I think Sam Taylor's also All-Australian, by the way. I saw the team.
Yep.
And so is Jack Gunston. He's All-Australian as well. So congratulations to both of them. And look, Jack Gunston, just to speak about him, he's kicked 62 goals this year, Jack Gunston. And the guy's 33. So he's had a great year. And you think a guy, the older they get, they decline a bit. But no, some of these guys that are older, they're still playing really, really good footy to the point. I saw Max Gawn got All-Australian again. So there's quite a few older players. I need to look at the side again, but there's quite a few guys well in their 30s that are in that side, which is good. So if Sam Taylor keeps Jack Gunston to 1 goal or no goal, I think that's enough for GWS to win. Because
I do. Correct.
So Jack Gunston's the guy. If he's not kicking a bag, they're going to find it pretty hard. Marbio Chol's okay. He's handy for 2 or 3. He's a real tall guy. Marbio Chol is actually 6'7", so he's a hard matchup to get, but he just doesn't have an X factor. He just doesn't. He's not like a Kerner or a Jezza Cameron that'll have 8 shots at goal in a game or anything like that. I've also got here a big matchup here. I think Tom Barrass is going to go to Jesse Hogan. Tom Barrass is a bit bigger.
But Jesse has to play first too. He hasn't played for 3 or 4 weeks.
I think if he's fit, they'll get him in.
Oh yeah,
He'll
100%.
take the opposition's best defender. Josh Battle got back pocket All Australian, which is good. He's a bit
Yep.
shorter than Tom Barrass, though. If Jesse Hogan's playing and he's dominating Barrass, no doubt they'll do the switch, put Josh Battle on Hogan, see how that goes. But
Yep.
yeah, so that'll be also a very interesting match-defining matchup, especially if Jesse Hogan actually plays. Just
Yeah, it will
some of
be.
the
Yeah, it'll be interesting game. Their forward line is Cadman, Hogan if he
Mhm,
plays, Green obviously.
mhm,
Um, then you've got your what's his name, buddy? Um, the guy with the helmet, Harvey. Um,
mm,
got him that it, zooms around. You've got I've had a blank. What's his name? The young fellow midfield for the Giants as well. He played last week. He played really well. And he was everywhere. Another one that may come back is Brett Daniels as well
mhm,
that they're missing. Um,
mhm,
yeah, and they've got that young kid as well playing at the moment. Starts with G. Gronsky, I think his name is, or something like that. That's
yeah,
that has been going okay too. So they've got a lot of options. And obviously
mhm,
their midfield, they've got Josh Kelly to come back as well.
mhm,
Um, Cornelio, I think he did his hamstring the other day or did something the other day. So he'll probably miss. But yeah, the midfield, obviously Tom Green and
mhm. Is that really?
Callahan. And then you've got
Mhm,
Lockie Ashett coming off half back. And you got Lockie Whitfield coming off half back as well.
mm,
So yeah, I think they'll be too strong for the Hawks, and yeah,
mhm,
that's another missed opportunity for the Hawks, I reckon. And obviously they're
mm,
missing Day, which is a big out.
mm. Just some of the positives and negatives. You've touched on that basically for the Giants. I'll just speak about some of the positives I have. Aaron Cadman, he's the 2022 number one draft pick, and he's had a breakout year. He's kicked 44 goals this year.
Yep,
So he kicked about 30 last year. So he's kicked more. He's actually kicked more than Hogan. I know Hogan's been injured, but that's good for the club that they've got a full-on player that's been able to kick more than Hogan. Also, just the Giants as a club in general, they entered the AFL in 2012, and since then they've finished in the top 8 9 times. So they've
yep,
actually been very consistent, pushing, to finish in the 8, but they just haven't been able to. They've been in one grand final since they've been in the comp. They got belted by Richmond. I was actually at that game, but yeah, besides that, they just haven't been able to capitalise on their opportunities when they finish in the 8 and get themselves a premiership. Um, just some of the negatives as well. They're kind of a team like Brisbane. They can get the ips and just kick too many points.
yep. They do. Yes,
They
correct.
do. They get the ips, and sometimes they just lose to games at home that they shouldn't. Like for example, during the year, they lost to Port Adelaide at home.
Yep.
They should not be losing to Port Adelaide at NG Stadium. But yeah,
No.
they tend to get the ips, and they just have the odd time when they just don't play well and they lose to a shit side. But
Yep.
anyway,
Have
it's
you
going to
have you
be.
been to their stadium? Talking about the stadium?
I haven't been at NG Stadium. You
It's a
been there?
great stadium. I was up there about a month ago. Amazing,
Yeah,
amazing setup.
yeah. No, that's really good. How many people can they have seat there?
I'm only guessing here, but probably 30,000.
Yeah, okay. So it's a bit smaller
Yep.
than GMHBA Stadium.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, mate. Just some of the positives and negatives about Hawthorn. I don't think you've said too much about Hawthorn's positives and negatives. You were speaking about the Giants before, but just off the top of your head, what are some positives and negatives about the Hawks you can
Well, the
think of?
positives they've got Gunston back, as in
Yeah,
he's had a breakout year.
he has.
His back's okay, and groin and everything else, and knees and
Mm,
everything seem to be. He's sort of like I reckon they'd be lost. Well, they wouldn't have won as many games if he
mm,
wasn't there. Simple as that.
mm,
He sort of saved them a fair bit.
mm,
Midfield is okay. Um, yeah, Watson and Ginnivan and those ones have been good, but they haven't been. I don't think they've been as consistent as they should have.
mm,
Maybe more so Watson. Ginnivan's been there most of the time.
mm,
Um, I think
Watson,
no. I'm trying to think. That back line is Battle and Barras
Barras.
struggled at the start of the year,
Mm,
but that was always going to happen. And I've always got this thing that if you go to a new side, it takes 8. And I've said to a lot of people about this, and this is any player. It takes 8 to 10 weeks to learn their system,
mm-hmm,
and then after that, that recruit will normally fire
mm-hmm.
because they've
Bailey
got
Smith fired before that, though. He was an
what's that
exception.
three?
Bailey Smith played really good footy before that, though.
He did, yes, yeah, correct, he did. So, but most times you're going to a new club, you want to learn the system, what the players do and don't do,
Mm,
um, how far they can kick, those sort of things, like how far they go with the ball, or yeah,
mm,
positional areas, learning their new role as
mm,
well,
mm,
and getting to know their obviously line coaches too, and
mm,
obviously the main coach.
mm.
So yeah, obviously
Mm,
Bailey's a different player to the others, but
mm.
he fired on all cylinders
He did, like
from
round
day
one.
one.
He did. You're a very good
Yeah,
recruit. My positives and negatives are very similar to you, mate. Jack Dunstan breakout year, kicking 62 goals at the age of 33. Negatives, Will Day, in my opinion, is their best player. I think he can be like the next James Hird. He reads the
yep,
play really well. He's a very efficient ball user. And he unfortunately had a bad. He was doing really well at the start of the year, Will Day. Then he just
yes,
got this foot injury, and hopefully it doesn't affect him for his whole career. But they can get pretty bad, those foot injuries. But he's missing the
yeah, they
rest of
can,
the
yes,
year, unfortunately. Another thing is Hawthorn aren't moving the ball as well as they did last season. Last season they were impeccable. I thought they were going to win the
yes,
premiership. Um, and they're just not moving it as well as last year. Last year, unfortunately, Hawthorn came up against a rampant Port Adelaide, and Port Adelaide played above themselves and bet them, stopped their
yep.
finals campaign. But
The one thing I've
mm,
like worked out. Well, this year Hawthorn got found out this year because
mm,
they worked out.
mm-hmm,
They used the same game plan as last year and got worked out pretty quickly.
yeah, true.
So that's why teams went to work on them,
Mm-hmm,
and it was pretty evident that okay, they want to play slingshot football. No
mm-hmm,
worries, we'll match them.
mm-hmm,
If that team, as long as that team can match them in that area, no worries.
mm-hmm,
If you can't match them, you're in massive trouble.
mm,
Like, like if you got a slow defense, like the Bulldogs, for instance, you're
mm,
going to get torn apart like all the time
mm-hmm,
because you're not going to have your backmen going to be up, your wall's going to be built from
mm-hmm,
the center circle
mm-hmm,
all the way to the forward line. You get a Watson or Ginnivan or someone like or Dan Brazio out the back
mm,
who is speedy, and you got like a Rory Lobb, for instance,
mm-hmm,
playing in that trying to block that use that wall. They're no chance of catching those young guys.
mm, mm,
You know what I mean? Straight over the top, and thanks for coming. It's
mm,
yeah, you're gonna score every single time.
mm,
So um, that's how they play. Is they're a slingshot football team, Hawthorn. That's
mm-hmm,
yeah. You can get them um, back on the other way
mm-hmm.
because you get the Barasas um,
Battle.
and the battles, and they're not that quick.
Mm,
You get over the back, and away you go. Like
mm,
you get like Geelong. Use them as an example. You get the closest or Stengels or Manners over the back of those guys, and bang, you're going to score every time.
mm, mm.
It's just the mosquito fleet, I call them. Yeah,
Yeah.
the little guys will just go to work.
Mm-hmm,
Um, and just yeah, and any team you get the ball in quick to your forward line,
mm-hmm,
your defense is always going to be under pressure.
mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true, mate.
So
It's hard to man up when the ball's coming in quick.
yeah, exactly right. And that's why Collingwood has been stopped because they've slowed ball movement.
Mm,
But that's why other teams are slingshot football. Oh, you get it in quick. Oh shit, makes a difference,
mm,
doesn't it?
true.
So
Now, mate, we'll speak about the next game. It's Fremantle versus Gold Coast. Now,
yep,
it's played at Optus Stadium, 7:35 p.m. on
yep.
Saturday, 6th of September. Who do you think will win that game, mate?
Fremantle 10 goals.
I'm going Fremantle, and guess what? I'm going to call Fremantle flag mantle for the rest
Yep.
of the final series because I think they can win it. I think they can. Their ball movement. I watched them in games. They're playing. They're probably the second half of the year. Them and
Yep.
Geelong, as I said, they're in the best form. Those two, but watching some Fremantle games, their ball movement is as good as Geelong's, in my opinion.
Yep.
Now, I will speak. I reckon Fremantle win by 5 goals. Flag mantle.
Yep. You've been
Just
drinking? I'm only kidding.
in terms of some of the key matchups, mate, like there's a big one here in the ruck. Now, I know Jared Witts is the better ruckman, but
Yep.
Sean Darcy on his day can beat any ruckman. So that first hit out and giving the midfielders the first hand on the footy, that's going to be huge in this game.
Yep.
Also, what else I'll speak about is now Patrick Voss and Mac Andrews. Now I think those two are going to play each other. Now Patrick Voss has been a revelation, especially that those last 9 rounds of the year for
Yep.
Fremantle. He's been really, really good. Even that game round 10 when Fremantle played Collingwood at the G and they bet him, he kicked 6 goals. He was really good. He was clutch. Mac Andrews, he's very good, gets fiery. So that I think those two are going to play each other, and that's truly a match-defining matchup. If Mac Andrews keeps Patrick Voss quiet, then Gold Coast could win. They really need Patrick Voss to kick at least 3 goals.
Yep.
Also, Caleb Strong and Matt Rowell, I think those two are going to play in each other for a while. That's a pretty big matchup. Caleb Strong could find himself on Noah Anderson as well. Yeah, mate. So in terms of the positives and negatives of Fremantle, mate, we'll go with you first. What are some off the top of your head?
Obviously Brayshaw Sarong, midfield.
Mm.
Hayden Young is there. I reckon he's there. Yeah, probably. Well, the top 5 would be those two I've just spoken about. Hayden Young will be 3. Jordan Clark will be 4. And I reckon number 5 would be. Well, you need a goal kicker, so you may as well go Tracy.
Mm-hmm. Jordan Clark got All Australian.
Yep, and deservedly so.
Yeah. You miss him at the Cats?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, yep.
He was
Absolutely
playing good
do.
footy.
He probably he would probably take. I don't know. He'd probably take Connor O'Sullivan's spot, or he'd take O'Shane Mullins spot. I reckon. Yeah.
Why do you reckon he left the Cats?
Oh, he just wanted to go home. He had nothing wrong with the Cats. He wanted to stay, but it's just a home thing. It's just to go home.
Yeah, because Joel Selwood, he was going to leave the year before he did, but Joel Selwood stopped him. And I think
Because
he just
he lived with Joel.
Yeah, and I think he was like, "Sorry, Joel, I want to go back to WA." And Joel's like,
Yeah. So he went home,
"Mate,
which is understandable.
yeah.
You know, he's I don't know him personally, but yeah, he still talks to all the boys and everything. So
I heard he was a bit nasty with Stephen Wells because Stephen Wells was slow to get a deal done. So
right, yeah,
I heard
dunno.
there was a bit of a rift between him and Wellesley, but eventually the deal was done and he went to Freo. So
yeah, not too sure about that. Yeah, couldn't tell you, but
mm,
yeah. So it's no, I think well, Pearce kept supposedly the best player in the game quiet, as in last week, as in Darcy. So I don't rate Ben King at all. He may as well not even go to. And I'll be brutally honest about Gold Coast. I think they're a laughing stock. They're making up the finals. They're a joke of a side. They've got 2 good players and that's it. Obviously, Real and Anderson, and the rest of the team is a joke. I don't rate them at all, and they shouldn't even be there.
Look, they're lucky they play very well at home and they play very well at the Northern Territory. So they've been able to win virtually all their games at home and in Northern Territory when they play there.
And they can't travel. That's the other thing. They still can't travel.
They improved this year though.
They did, yes, but you look at last week, prime example. How the hell do you not beat a team? It was like Port Adelaide reserves put out there and couldn't get the job done.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
It's an embarrassment. So it's I would have ripped shreds off him through the week if I was their coach. That's for sure.
Damien Hardwick.
I would have been. I would have ripped straight off him like no tomorrow. I would have been brutally honest with him and said, yeah, what he's like, yeah,
Mhm,
what he's doing. Like,
mhm,
2 weeks ago, again, when they had the Giants at home,
mhm,
one of their biggest test to
mhm,
today, and couldn't handle it. Didn't turn up. So, yeah, I just don't think. I think the team that should be there is Sydney, and Sydney would have done a lot of damage if they were there.
mm.
But yeah, I don't, yeah, if I'm the Giant, if I'm Gold Coast, I'm organising Mad Monday now. Yeah, they're not even going to be a chance.
I actually like the
Uh,
Dogs better than Sydney. You like the Dogs better than Sydney?
no, don't rate the Dogs at all.
You don't rate the Dogs?
No, no, no. Everyone raves on about them, but I've never seen one good thing about them this year. Like their back line's terrible, midfield's okay, their forward line's okay, but when they don't function, they are like last week. How did
Mm,
they? I know things were swapped around last week, but from what I remember seeing is when they 30 points up a quarter time and just didn't hardly scored after that.
mm.
So yeah, obviously everything was. I'd tell you now, if I'm the Bond, I'd be getting out of there.
He's too loyal.
He is, yes,
And they're
correct,
paying
but
him
I'd
very
be
good
getting out
money
of
as
there.
well. Mm.
Like they're not going to win a flag in the next 5 years.
He's too
Darcy's going
loyal,
to get
mate.
it.
He's
Darcy
the
will get
captain,
injured.
and yeah,
Norton will Norton will turn up for every 6 weeks.
he's had a good year, Norton. He's probably had his best season. He kicked 60.
It's just they yeah they won't
Mm,
they won't they won't win a flag for the next 5 years. They've got a lot going wrong for them.
mm,
I think Beveridge is the issue as well. They just need a new voice. And look, they might get
yeah.
played in the off season. I
Mm,
don't know, but yeah, I don't rate them at all.
mm,
And clearly they didn't make the finals. So
true.
yeah, so I'd
They were
be.
rubbish. They were rubbish at, halfway through the year when they didn't have Sam Darcy. They just struggled to kick a
They
decent
did,
score to
yeah,
win. Yeah,
yep,
because Sam Darcy missed 8 or 9 weeks with an injury.
yeah, correct, yep,
Yeah, and they just couldn't get someone to properly replace him and kick goals with Norton.
yep.
Hmm,
It's yeah. Um, I think Sydney would have challenged a lot of those sides in there if they made it.
hmm, hmm,
Obviously, they had the injuries throughout the year, which
true.
hurt them at the start. Sorry, at the start of the year, their
Hmm,
main players, like you take any main play, or say your top five, they were missing their top five for most of the year.
hmm.
If you take even top three out of your side, you're going to struggle.
Yeah, true, true. As with
So
any club, yeah,
yeah, correct, exactly right.
yeah.
So it's yeah, I just think they were unfortunately it didn't work out for them, but
Hmm,
they'll be there back in it next year, and
hmm,
yeah, yeah, I can just see I can see Gold Coast not making it next year. Sydney come in, Gold Coast go out, and maybe like the crystal ball going forward, another team that may come out would be uh depending on what Hawthorn
it's
do.
hard to
If they
say. It depends with injuries and stuff, mate. Like,
well, I'll say I reckon Hawthorn will miss the eight next year. Let's put it that way.
yeah, maybe,
If
especially if they can't, because
if
it
they
looks
don't
like
pick
they're
up
going to lose
anyone,
Warple. It looks like they're going to lose Warple, but we'll talk about in the trade whispers.
yeah.
Which
Well, if they don't pick anyone up, I
mm,
reckon they'll miss the eight next year.
just with me, mate, I'll go through my positives and negatives of Flag
Yep.
Mantle. Now, it's the same as
So you
Geelong
obviously
as
been drinking
well.
again when you said the flag. They'll win the flag.
from round 10 to round 24, so that's across 14 games. Both Fremantle and Geelong, they've only lost 2 games, so they're the two informed sides.
Yep.
I just believe, as I said before, I believe Fremantle's ball movement is just quicker and more efficient compared to Geelong's.
Yep. Or
Um,
again, as we spoke earlier, it's a slingshot. That's what they
mm,
play. That's all they know how to play. Framil is slingshot.
but it's been working for them, and
Yes. But
a really
Marvel's
good,
also that sort of surface too.
mm,
That's why it worked so well for him last week.
yeah, a really big scalp for them. This is before Collingwood hit a bit of a rabble back half of the year. But when Collingwood were playing really good footy, those first 17, 18 rounds of the year, Fremantle actually bet them at the G, and it was a huge win for them. Everyone wrote off Fremantle. No way they're going to win, but they went out there and bet them. That's very hard. If you can beat Collingwood at the G, you're a genuine contender, in my opinion.
Yes. Yep.
Now, they finished sixth on the ladder, so a lot of people have the opinion of you've got the top four at the end of the home and away season on the ladder, and it's usually those four that win a premiership. But there's been history has shown, like just off the top of my head, you've got Doggies. They won the premiership 2016. They finished seventh on the ladder that year. Richmond won the premiership in 2017. They finished seventh on the ladder that year. Now Fremantle finished sixth, so there is a chance that yes, they are the team in form. Those last 8 or 9 rounds of the year, that they can really go deep in this final series. They found a forward who's potentially going to be a superstar in the game, Patrick Voss. Now, I
Yep.
didn't know much about him till he played a blinder round 10 against Collingwood when he kicked six. Now, a bit about Patrick Voss. He was actually he was rookie drafted to Essendon in 2022, and he
Yep.
was on their list for 2 years, didn't get a game. And then Essendon delisted him. And Freo's picked him up, and he's kicked 38 goals in 25 games. He's only a young
Yes.
fella. He's 22 years of age. And Essendon will be spewing because they got no one kicking goals from him at the moment. If they actually kept this guy on the list, he could have been a shining light for them because Essendon have had a real shit luck with their forwards, and they've let go of this guy. When now they've seen what he's doing at Freo, I'm like, fuck, he could have been playing for us,
Yep. Correct.
Look, just a few negatives I have about Fremantle, just the club in general. They've been in the AFL since 1995, and they've played in one grand final. And when they got in that grand final, it was against Hawthorn back in their those three-peat years. Fremantle played them that 1 year, and they lost by 15 points. That was back when Rossi Lyon was coach. So as a club in general, Fremantle, otherwise known as Flagmantle, this
Yep.
final series, they haven't had much luck, mate. So, it'll be very interesting this final series because they are playing damn good footy.
Yes.
Now, in terms of the positives and negatives about Gold Coast, you think they're a rabble, but in terms of positives, I know you did say that they're like Matt Rowell and Noah Anderson. They're two best players. They get a game anywhere else, but besides that, you reckon they're a rabble.
Yep.
Look, I'm just going to say this. This is both a positive and a negative. It's the first time they're
Yep.
playing finals, and they've been in the AFL for 15 years. So this is the first time they're playing finals. It is a positive, like finally they made it, but it's a negative because the club's been such a schmozzle for so long. And
Yeah. Correct. Well, it's like they fell in
mm,
the
yeah,
finals because
they
they
played
don't.
well at the start of the year.
Well, the thing is, they don't have that extra game.
Mm,
Well, that game to come, they don't make it. Simple as
yeah,
that.
true. Yeah, so they're lucky they're playing one of the worst teams in comp, Essendon, and they absolutely
Yes.
flogged them. So, but no, look, good on them. And I've also gone the same with you, Matt Rowell and Noah Anderson. They're a really good 1 point, like 1-2 punch in the midfield, and
Yep.
they're similar to the likes of like a Max Home and Bailey Smith. They're pretty damn good. So, in terms
Correct.
of who you think will get in the grand final this AFL 2025 season, who do you think of both the teams, AJ?
Adelaide Geelong grand final.
Yeah. Okay. Depending how it pans out, I've got Geelong Fremantle, but they might meet each other earlier. But
Well,
they might if Geelong
So
win and
what?
Fremantle win.
If well, if Geelong lose and Fremantle win, they play each other in the semi.
Yeah. But
So
if
then
Geelong
Geelong would be
win,
that'll be at the MCG, and
yeah,
that'll be a Friday night,
yeah, and that'll
unless
be
they
a
go
good
back to a
game.
Thursday night.
Hmm.
But that'll be a Friday night, and Geelong would win that comfortably.
Oh, I don't know about that, mate.
So, but even if I think Fremantle will get knocked out anyway. If it was Brisbane Fremantle the week after at the Gabba.
Yeah, look, maybe you never know with Brisbane, mate. They kick themselves out of it, and Fremantle have proven they can play well away. So that'll be a really good game.
Yeah, well, that's most likely, it's either going to be Geelong and Fremantle or Brisbane and Fremantle in that semi.
Hmm.
And then the Giants, Hawthorn. Say the Giants win or Hawthorn win,
Hmm.
they would play the loser of Collingwood Adelaide.
Hmm. In the Ross Lyon era, Fremantle were a bit of a bogey side for Geelong in a few final series.
Yes.
I remember
Yep.
one year, it was Matthew Scarlett, the year he retired. Fremantle, they went down and bet him. And
Yes, they
Scarlett's
did.
like, I'm
Yes.
over this. And then there was another year at Simmons Stadium. Fremantle just played a blinder.
Yep.
Well, yeah, it was Simmons Stadium at the time. They not, yeah. So Fremantle have actually been a bogey
Well,
side
they
for
beat us
Geelong
here.
players.
We beat them here for the first time in 4 years, I think. Down here this
Mm,
year.
mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So look, it's two very informed sides, Fremantle and Geelong. I've got Flagmantle to win the premiership, and I've got here Geelong Fremantle if it does get that far in
Yep.
the granny. But you never know, mate. Like who wins, who loses
No, correct.
in
Exactly
these
right.
preliminary finals. So look, Geelong Fremantle will be a great grand final because they're both very informed teams.
Yes.
Now, what we're going to do, mate, we're going to go to the trade
Yep.
whispers and some footy
Who's your
news.
Brownlow tip?
I'm still going. I'm going Nick Dacos. I think he's done enough. I think he did a good enough first 18 rounds
Yep.
to solidify himself. But I think Jordan Dawson and Bailey Smith are going to be very. It's going to be very close. Those three.
Well, I only go Dawson because no one else is going to take votes from him. So where Smith, I'd love to say yes. I want him to win it. Don't get me wrong.
Max Holmes is going to take votes.
But Holmes will take votes off him. Myers will
In
take votes off him.
terms
Manor
of
will
Nick
take.
Dacos, his brother Josh will take a few.
Yep.
But Jordan De
Jed,
Goey,
Danger will take votes off him when he played well earlier in the year.
yeah,
Jez will probably get votes for kicking 11 and 7 and whatever.
yeah, he'll get the threes. Yeah.
So they're going to take votes from each other, where
Mm,
Dawson will have no one take him off him.
mm, mm.
Or very
Now,
rare. Yeah.
some of your trade and whispers, mate, like some of the trades and footy news. What have you
Yep.
got off the top of your head, mate?
Yep. So James Walpole will sign at Geelong on a 4-year deal.
Yeah. How
Rowan
much? Do you know how
Marshall
much
was
he'll get paid?
probably 600.
I thought he'd be getting paid more than that. He's a best and
He
fairest
probably
winner at
is, but
hooks.
he
Yeah.
probably is, but he's not worth it. So
And Geelong don't really pay overs either. It's like,
no, they
mate, you
don't.
come
No.
here, we'll pay you good money, but we're not going to pay you overs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think I don't think we need him, but well, the other thing is, I reckon there's a real possibility that Clayton Oliver will ask for a trade again and come down here. I don't
Yeah,
know
but
whether Geelong have.
a deal just can't get done, man. Like Melbourne are asking for fucking like
Well,
a pick
I'm
in the top
extremely.
four and stuff. And
I'm very confident that depending on who their coach is, like Melbourne, Petrarca will go to Hawthorn
yeah,
or Collingwood, and Oliver will come down here.
thing is though, if they get a new coach and because I think Brad Green wants them playing finals, and I think he had a
Yes,
meeting with Nathan Buckley, and Buckley reckons if you keep these players, yeah, they're a good chance to play finals again.
yes, but then that's
So,
the thing. Like if Buckley, I believe Petrarca stays if Buckley signs,
mm-hmm.
but if he doesn't, then I've been told that he'll probably most likely move on
Yeah,
to another club.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's the same with
So,
Oliver too. So it just depends on their coach. Like
mm,
because they want a new coach for trade week,
mm-hmm.
so that he can have like a have his say in it. Yeah. So Rowan Marshall will sign most likely a 4-year deal at Geelong.
You reckon Reece Stanley will be forced to retire? Is he
Oh
out of
no,
contract at the end?
no, he doesn't have a contract now. I don't believe so. But he's happy just to play out the year and see what happens.
Mm,
And that'll all come after trade week too.
yeah, true.
Um, I know Hawthorn are trying to get Butters. I know Geelong early in the year, Geelong were definitely going to get Butters, but I haven't heard much about that now.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a smoky that Geelong will go for someone, and you
Mm,
wouldn't have heard of them, but you're like they'll go for someone late.
mm.
Um, Around the traps, obviously TDK's but signed at
St Kilda.
St Kilda.
The deal was too good.
Silvani, from what I've been told today, is a massive chance of signing at St Kilda now too.
Yeah, I know his dad's the list manager.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, so that
I
was
don't think he
always going to
should
be
go there if his dad's there because then there's too much
well.
politics and
It's a key pillar now, so that's why Collingwood and Western Bulldogs are in the race. But from today, there's a big chance that he will be at St Kilda.
yeah. Mate, I reckon St
Uh,
Kilda need to be audited because St Kilda they're paying 2 million a year for Nasai. They're paying
yep,
1.7 million a year for TDK. They're going to get Liam Ryan, pay him good money. They're going to try to get Jack Silvani, pay him decent money.
yep.
They're trying to
Well,
get. I think they're
Giovanni,
trying to get Aaliyah.
no, it's no, it's not Aaliyah. Wrong information you've got there. It's Leika Lee
Alika. Yeah, who's Aaliyah?
from the Giants.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, he hasn't been getting much of a game, so he will definitely sign it
Uh,
at St Kilda.
a big money, or probably
No,
not
I
if he's
wouldn't have
not going
thought
to
so.
go.
No,
No,
maybe
okay.
three,
Alika
four
Lee.
hundred thousand.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just a packet of chips and
Mm,
a drink, and that'll do you. Yep. So,
hmm.
um, yeah. So it's interesting times ahead with this trade period. I reckon there's normally about 15, 20 players move clubs.
That's good though. That keeps it interesting.
Yeah, no, it does. Obviously, Oscar Allen's going to Brisbane.
Mm-hmm.
Reed obviously signed 2 years the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's trade week is a lot of players won't say in the exit meetings they want out, but then like when it comes to trade week, the managers will say, "Yeah, we want out."
Mm.
So even
Now,
Charlie Curnow today said that he wants out.
well, I've heard he's staying. I think his management has told him, mate, it looks like a deal can't get done with these clubs you want to go to. You know, Carlton are going to ask a lot if they're going to lose Charlie Curnow, like potentially 3 first round picks or a gun player and a first round pick. So he's in a similar situation to Clayton Oliver last year. Clayton Oliver want to go to Geelong,
Yep.
but Melbourne will ask for too much and a deal just couldn't get done. It's the same thing with Charlie Curnow. He's been told, mate, it
But
looks
there,
like.
but there is ways. Players have got more um, leeway now than clubs do. So
Well,
if he
Petrarca
says
was
he's
keen
going
to
to,
go to Collingwood last year, but it was shut down as well. So, um,
there is ways to get around it.
mm,
So if I'm Charlie, which has obviously been reported, um, I'd be saying I don't want to play for this club anymore. Simple as that. I don't want to be here. I'll use every excuse in the book to get out.
yeah,
There's
but the
always
thing
a
is
way to
that,
get out.
yeah, but I think it has to be a good deal that comes to the table, or else he's staying. And
Well, it's most likely going to be Sydney. So if I'm Sydney, keep your players, or even like an Olive Florent and give them their first round pick or 2 first round picks. Simple as
yeah,
that. You're getting draft picks. You can either trade them off
mm,
or you can use them um, to rebuild with players.
yeah.
Well, they've
I've
got rid
just
of
got a feeling. I've got a feeling. Look, he's a franchise player at Carlton. I just got a feeling Carlton are going to dig their heels in. They can do it as a club. He's contracted to 2029. I just don't think a deal can get done. This happens. This happens sometimes, mate. Like the first year Tim Kelly was at Geelong, he tried to go to Western Australia, but a deal couldn't
yep.
get done. Petrarca's trying to leave to Collingwood. Oliver's trying to go to Geelong. Look, there's other players that have tried to leave, but a deal just can't get done. And this is another example with Charlie Curnow. If he still wants to leave the following year, I imagine his management will be working pretty hard in the background to try and sort
But
something
the
there.
thing is, like that's where Oliver lost out, and Melbourne. Sorry, that's where Melbourne lost out with Oliver because he's got no value now. So
Charlie's still got value though. Like,
yeah, but
no,
Charlie, but you go through this year. Well, he stays for another year. Say he has a shit year, he's going to have no value at all.
nah, he'll
And
still
Carlton
have
will be
value
thinking,
because
why didn't we pass him off when he's got value?
he's
That's
28. Yeah,
that's where because he could come out and injure his knee or have a shit year, and they've like we stuffed up. We didn't get rid of him when we should have.
mm,
So
yeah. There's very
but that
interesting times ahead.
that's the way I see it is trade smart now.
Mm,
We can get value. We can get something for him.
mm,
That's what I'd be doing if I'm a list manager.
mm. Orazio Fantasia has been delisted from Carlton.
Yes.
Now he's been injured a fair bit. He's 29. Look, I think he was a bit younger. They would have kept him, but because
Yep.
he's older, they need to get some young guys in. So look, I think he'll find a home somewhere else. Orazio Fantasia. Mitch Duncan, you told me this. It looks like West Coast have poached him and want him there for a couple of years. 1 year as a player, 1 year as a coach. I think you told me that.
Yeah, I think it might have been two. Yeah, it might be even 2 years. Maybe a 1 year deal playing. Maybe 2 years coaching. Might be even. Yeah, sorry, three. Yeah.
Mm, mm,
Or it might
yeah.
not be. It might not be playing at all, and might be just 2 years coaching as an
Yes.
assistant coach. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's getting on. I think he's 35 now, or 34, 35. So
Yeah. Not,
he's
yeah. But yeah, that's will most likely happen. Yes.
and it looks like Jamari Ugle-Hagan, the Dogs will be pretty keen to move him on. I think
Yeah.
they're
Correct.
sick of the shit.
Yep.
He hasn't got the discipline for AFL footy, and I think another club interstate will give him a crack. Hopefully, he doesn't screw up his opportunity, because if he screws that opportunity up, he can kiss his AFL career goodbye. Because yeah, from what I've heard, don't really need to go into specifics in this pod, but yeah, he's hanging out with the wrong crowd, and he's let's just say he's doing things he shouldn't be doing in society. So we'll just we'll leave it at that with
Yeah.
Jamar
Yeah.
Ugle-Hagan. Now, what I want to talk to you about now is Snoop Dogg. Now,
Yep.
are you a fan of Snoop Dogg, AJ? You listen to his music?
No, I can't say I do. Sorry.
Nah, look, I
No.
don't
Not.
really listen to him either, mate. In my younger
You,
days, when I
you
was,
told you told me you listen to him every day.
mate, in my younger days when I used to hit up the bars and the clubs in the younger days, mate, in those R&B rooms, they used to play a bit of Snoop Dogg, and he used to go off. But
Yep.
look, I don't mind Snoop Dogg. I actually listened, because I was on a different podcast, and I listened to one of his albums he did recently with Dr. Dre. You heard of Dr. Dre?
Yeah. I have. Yeah. Yep.
Well, so those two did an album together, and yeah, look, that was the last time I actually heard his music. But anyway, mate, just a bit about Snoop Dogg. Look, he's had three number one US Billboard hits in his
Yep.
career, which is pretty good. I've got a Spotify account. He averages 28.5 million streams a month. So
Yeah.
that's pretty
Right.
good. That's just with Spotify. He's made over 20 studio, well, yeah, he's made 20 studio albums in his career,
Yep.
and he's sold over 35 million albums worldwide. So he's been making music since the early 1990s. So he has been around a long time. But what's happened is he's actually landed himself in hot water with some homophobic comments. Look, briefly, it's to do with this Buzz Lightyear movie. So people have
Yep.
heard of Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story, and there was a movie made in 2022. This movie, briefly, it cost Disney $200 million to make it, and it was actually a box office bomb. They actually lost $100 million on it, so it
Yep.
didn't do well in the cinemas at all. The movie was banned in multiple Middle Eastern countries such as Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, and Egypt, purely because there's a scene in there, and there's two astronaut lesbians, and they got a kid together.
Yep.
So those countries I just mentioned, those Middle Eastern ones, are very religious, and homosexuality is like not prohibited. So anyway, we'll talk about Snoop Dogg now. What happened was he was watching Buzz Lightyear, the movie, with his grandson,
Yep.
and his grandson, like a 6-year-old kid, just 5-year-old, 6-year-old kid, brought up the question, why are there two women here? Why are they coupled with a baby? This 6-year-old kid, he doesn't get it. And Snoop Dogg's like, you're young for me to answer all that stuff, and just eat your popcorn and just enjoy the movie. And
Yep.
he just spoke on this podcast how awkward it was for him. He didn't expect it. Didn't expect his grandson to ask him all these questions and hassle him about it. And he was surprised with how you could have a kids movie show, same-sex couples in it, kissing and things like that. He was very surprised by that. What he said, it wasn't even that bad. Anyway, he didn't mean any malice in his comments. He wasn't being nasty or anything like that. He just spoke about the situation, and the media's really blown it out of proportion because that's what the media does. They get negative, they get the news, and they just blow it out of proportion for a story. And look, there's rumours that potentially he might not play and perform at the halfway time of the AFL Grand Final. Do you think this is true, mate? You reckon he'll get the axe?
Yeah, we will do. Yep, 100%.
You think he's gone?
Yep,
I don't
that's
think
the
he's
information I've
gone.
been given.
I don't think he is gone. I think the reasons why, firstly, to me, his comments weren't homophobic. The
Yep,
media just blown out of proportion, and I hope Andrew Dillon's smart enough to just not get sucked in by it. It's very different to what Isaac Rankin's done. What he's done was derogatory, going up to another player and being nasty, saying a nasty comment. Snoop Dogg wasn't like that on this pod episode. And also, look, Snoop Dogg is a cultural icon. He's
yep,
someone that's well known worldwide. Even my parents know who Snoop Dogg is, and they don't know anything about rap music. So that's just how unique he is, and he's a massive draw card. Especially for America, Americans, they are getting to know Aussie rule football, and
yep,
if they know that Snoop Dogg's performing half time, they're going to be engaged and watch the game. So he's also got a massive fan base around the world, Snoop Dogg. So in terms of an international pool, I don't think Andrew Dillon should be sacking him now and trying to switch him
yep.
with another performance. But anyway, mate, it's going to
Well,
be
it's
very
5 million. It's 5 million they're paying him if
yeah.
he does come.
So he's probably going to perform for like 10 minutes. It'll be like a medley. So he'll probably do 1 minute snippets of his songs, and he'll probably do like 10 or something. So
Yep,
anyway, I think he'll do a good performance, mate, and he'll keep it G-rated. He won't be swearing and stuff like that, which is what he's renowned for. But yeah, he'll keep it family friendly, mate. I think he'll do a good job. I think people will be dancing in the lounge rooms. Now, mate, what I'm going to talk about now is Mitchell Brown. Now, in
yep,
light of these Isaac Rankin comments, now Mitchell Brown, he's a former AFL player. Do you remember him playing?
yes,
Yeah, and he's got a twin brother that played at St Kilda Collingwood.
yep,
Yeah, so the twin brother actually played more footy than Mitch Brown. So I think Nathan Brown's the brother, and I think he won a premiership with Collingwood.
yep,
Under Malthouse. So yeah, they're both defenders.
yes,
They're both twins, I think. They look heaps similar. Mitch Brown played 94 games, and he actually missed. He was in the system 10 years. He missed like 2 seasons of footy due to injuries, and he had a few other seasons cut short. So he had some good seasons where he played a lot of games, but he also missed a fair bit as well. Anyway, what he's done is he's come out and he's admitted he's bisexual,
yep,
and he's changed his look. He used to be pretty clean cut. Now he looks like Joe Exotic from Tiger King from
yep,
Netflix. So what he's done is he's got this fringe. He's got this nicely trimmed fringe, and then he's got a mullet.
yep,
So look, mate, if you want to look like Joe Exotic, whether you're gay or not, that's fine. But I thought that was pretty unique when I saw him. Anyway, he looked in good spirits in this interview, and he actually mentioned back in his playing days that there was a teammate. Now, look, his West Coast teammates didn't know he was bisexual. He kept that all quiet, but he did mention that there was this one time that one of the players in the change room said they'd rather be in a cage full of lions than have a shower next to a homosexual.
yep.
And when he heard that, he was like, I cannot open up about my sexuality. So, look, that's pretty unfortunate. But look, it's good. Like, it is a good time if you are bisexual or gay. Once your career's finished, you come out and admit that you're gay, you're homosexual, and there's plenty of the female footballs that are. I know that, and there are a few male players that are as well. And look, I don't have a problem with it personally. Hopefully Mitch Brown has paved the way for other homosexuals or bisexuals to come out about their sexuality. Look, there's probably more former players that'll come out now. I don't know when the first current player will come out. It's pretty big
Yep.
because there's something I want to talk about, AJ, about look, a lot of male sporting clubs, particularly footy clubs, they're very male masculinity culture dominant. So
Yep.
in these sort of cultures, it's very hard. It's not very accepting of homosexual people. Um, look, it's in my opinion, like at male sporting clubs, I don't think from the whole organisation that homosexuality can ever be agreed on or accepted fully. And what I mean is from playing group, committee, coach, sponsors, if there's any, and higher up management. If you're a professional athlete making a lot of money and you're going to have management, if they find out you're gay, they're going to tell you, mate, keep it quiet, especially if you're a real good player, keep it quiet. You're going to get sponsors and stuff like that. It might be hard to get sponsorship if they find out you're gay and stuff. So, look, the following are also a few reasons why I think in like male masculinity sporting clubs, like such as like footy clubs, soccer clubs, even cricket clubs, for example. Following a few of the reasons why I think homosexuality will never be fully accepted across a full organisation. A lot of males, particularly the younger males, they don't have the maturity levels to handle being around homosexual males. Like, they find out there's a footy club and there's a homosexual playing there. That homos, they're going to cop
Yep.
shit. They're going to cop it behind their back. You know, People are going to act awkward around that homosexual. It's sad. Like it could be like when it gets to having showers after training, you could be like the other players are going to go in the showers as soon as the homosexual's finished, or even when it comes to meals on a Thursday night,
Yep.
they might not want to sit next to them, and so look, unfortunately, there is look, I've met great people at sporting clubs, people I still talk to today. But there are people out there that just their maturity levels, they don't handle it. And that's one reason why, unfortunately, homosexuality, they don't fit into male masculinity groups or sporting clubs. Another few more reasons, like older people, more so like, you've got the committee members, like the presidents and stuff like that. A lot of them are quite old school, especially the guys that are like 50 years of age or older.
Yep.
They think, back then, homosexuality, if you were a homosexual, you were a sick person, you know what I mean? You just weren't all
Yep.
there. So it's not like that with homosexuality. My youngest brother's homosexual, and he found out in his teenage years he developed a crush for another guy, and that's how he found out. So it's not if you're sick and you're mentally disturbed. It's just your genetic buildup. Your hormones are just different to a normal person.
Yep.
And yeah, look, there's older people out there, real old school, and homosexuality wouldn't be accepted by a lot of those older, real old school mind mentality people. And also some of these sporting clubs, um, probably more so the soccer clubs, but there are also like footy clubs as well. There's very religious people involved with some of these clubs, like Muslims
Yep.
and Christians and things like that, and they are not accepting of homosexuals. So look, good clubs are trying to arrange acceptance of homosexuality, but just in my opinion, AJ, I don't think, as I said before, across a whole organisation, across a whole club, from committee, players, sponsors, management, coaches, that you're going to find from the top all the way down, they're going to accept homosexuality to the point you will not be frowned upon. You're not going to cop shit behind your back or anything like that. And look, AJ, it's pretty sad, mate.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you know any homosexuals?
Yeah, I do. Yep. I got mates who are that's fine. That's what they want
Mm,
to be. I
mm.
have no issues with it.
Yeah,
So
as long
it's
as they don't try to come on to you and they're respectful as well. So,
it's no,
yeah.
yeah, no, I have no issues with it at all.
Mm,
Yeah, I'll obviously, it's not like I won't talk to them. I think because they've come out with it, but I'll chat to them all the time, and yeah, it is what
mm.
it is.
Yeah, there's
That's
a
their
lot of them
choice,
out there,
and
mate.
yeah,
I remember
yeah,
I went to
yeah,
in high school. There was probably three homosexuals. They all came out after high school because
yep,
look, we had some dickheads at school, and if the dickheads found out, they just bully the fuck out of them. There was this one guy, I won't say his name on the pod, but it was clearly obvious he was gay, and quite a few of the girls knew before school finished, and
yep,
they were respectful and didn't tell anyone because they knew if they gossiped about it too much, the dickheads would find out and just slag on this person. But yeah, it's pretty sad that the homosexuals at school, the ones in my year level, they came out when school was over. So it's just like these
Yep.
AFL players. Mitch Brown, he's retired. He's come out that he's bisexual, but he came out when
Yep.
he finished his career because of all the black backlash he could have copped at West Coast. So
Yep.
yeah. Anyway, mate. I don't know when, if ever, these sporting clubs, the male masculinity ones, are going to be fully accepted of homosexuality. But unfortunately, I don't see it because of these issues. I could be wrong. I don't think I'm wrong. But anyway, mate, great pod, AJ. We've been going
Yep.
for a while. I'll try to get this pod.
Thanks, KT.
I'll try to get this done by Sunday, I think, and have it released. But mate, we had issues with the Zoom at the start. We got it going, and
They were rolling.
yeah, you've been good, mate. You sounded good over the phone as well. I didn't. I thought you were going to sound very fuzzy, but no, you've been pretty clear, and you've been very knowledgeable, and you've been good on the podcast, mate.
No dramas at all, mate. Anytime.
Yeah. All right. Good on you, AJ. I'll see you around, and thanks, guys, for listening to this episode of Keith's Pod. I'll see you around for the next episode, whenever it is. Bye for now.